Welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, all of you filthy animals. It is Christmas, and if anybody doesn't get the reference, Home Alone. I don't think you're actually filthy animals. But during Christmas time, people can be filthy animals. So I wanted to make the only Christmas list you will need to put a smile on a gamer's face. This is the best list you will ever see. Every single other list that's out there, don't even bother watching them. They're pointless. Watch this one, send it to your friends, because this is the list that you're gonna need. All other lists are like, oh yeah, here's 5 games that I like, or da-da-da. I'm gonna give you every game that came out this year that I have checked reviews for, I have been watching, keeping an eye on. These are games that are personally on my Christmas list, which, by the way, if you'd like to buy me a gift, please become a member. I would love to have a few more members by Christmas time. Memberships are anywhere from $3 to $10 a month, and we've already had a bunch of people become members. And so if you'd like to please give me a Christmas gift, just throw me a super thanks or a super chat, or become a member. If you want to do that, just obviously subscribe to the channel and click on the memberships. Do it on a computer if you can. That makes it a lot easier if you do it through there. But it's worth it, man. It's worth it. You get all that extra content, and also you're helping me out for the holidays. So appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Anyways, this is the only Christmas list you will need. These are all games that came out this year. Because what do people want? They want new stuff. Like some people will want, like for me, for example, a good game that I'm looking for might be something like Oathsworn that came out maybe a year ago or something like that. That's a good game that I would like. And there are probably some good games that came out a while ago that people are still looking for. Maybe it's on their Christmas list. If you got a Christmas list, just use that, trust that. But if you don't know, these are all really good games that came out this year, so they're brand new, shiny. And I also listed them in order of the best rated, most reviewed and people liked. I put them in that order, okay? And these are the most hyped games coming out in 2023. And as we go down the list, there's a lot less hype for the ones that are on the bottom of the list, but I think it's because they came out a little earlier, so the hype kind of died down, but they're still great games. I have not played any of these games or maybe a few, but it's because these are games that I want that I still haven't got yet. They're brand new to this year. So first of all, let's go through some expansions. So if you know somebody that is looking for expansions for games that they already have, you're going to want to check out Spirit Island Nature Incarnate. If somebody likes Spirit Island, Nature Incarnate just adds a whole bunch of new spirits that you can use, as well as new mechanics to the game. Really cool expansion. Ark Nova Marine Worlds, one of the top rated expansions. I believe even Tom Vassell said that I think a lot of people, not just him, can't imagine playing this game without that expansion. It's one of those expansions that just adds exactly what the game needed. So if you know a person who has Lost Ruins of Arnak, the Lost Ruins Missing Expeditions expansion came out, which adds 2 new people, 2 new characters, 2 new leaders, as well as the ability to do a campaign, which is pretty interesting. If you know somebody who likes Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, they came out with the Discovery, Foundations, and Crisis expansions. If you know somebody, and some of these are kind of like standalone, because I think this is a standalone, but if they like Undaunted, Battle for Britain came out this year, and it was really highly rated. Cascadia Landmarks came out, so if you know somebody who has Cascadia and wants to play the expansion, that's it. This is a standalone game, but it's really cool. So if you know somebody who likes Dixit, they came out with the Disney version of Dixit, which is super cool. So it's kind of an expansion, not really, but at the same time, it is a standalone game, but it's really interesting. Now let's get to the bread and the butter. Let's talk about the highest rated games that came out this year that people have absolutely loved. Now, first one is like a game called Terra Mystica. It's from the same company that created that. I mean, it is Terra Mystica basically, but it's called Age of Innovation. It is a big game. I actually have this one. It's up on my shelf. I have not gotten a chance to play it, but Age of Innovation is a very interesting looking game, something that's worth checking out. A bit pricey, but some of these games are. These games are more so going to be the games that you're going to, I need to drive out to a couple of miles away to find a board game shop just to get this gift for a person. These are the types of games you'll be looking for. So Age of Innovation is a game. This is not a game you can get anywhere. This is this is a game you can get at specialty shops. Ticket to Ride Legacy. So Ticket to Ride is a great game. Everybody knows that. But the Legacy version came out, which is, I've heard, very, 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 very good. Some people didn't like it, but you know what? It's usually, I think that's more so the types of channels that kind of thrive more on like the negative side of things are usually the ones that are like, this game is whack, blah, blah, blah. But I've heard nothing but great things about it, except for like maybe one or two said that they didn't like it. Great Western Trail is an amazing game, but they made Great Western Trail New Zealand, which is, from what I've heard, specifically from like the Brothers Murph, that is their premiere. They did a whole video. Check out their channel. They did a whole video on all of the Great Western Trails, and New Zealand ended up being their favorite one. If you know a person who has not gotten Dune Imperium, get them Dune Imperium Uprising. So instead of getting them the old version of the game, get them the newer, fancier version. It has sandworms, it has extra additional things. Also, all the expansions can be used with this game, but basically it's like a part 2 to the first one. It's essentially the same game with a couple of extra mechanics. Dune Imperium Uprising is a very, very good game. Next, Voidfall. Voidfall, don't know too much about this. I know that it's been highly rated and highly anticipated by a lot of people, and I know you could probably find it in some stores, but Voidfall is a space game. That's all that I know about it, and I know that it's really, really good and that a lot of people have liked it. And again, this list isn't me making recommendations based off on what I played. This is what is popular and what exists right now and what people have been talking about. The Witcher Old World. The Witcher Old World is a game I almost picked up. It's like a miniatures game, but I think if you get just the base game, it doesn't do that. You need to get like the deluxe version to get the miniatures with it. But it's supposedly a really cool game. If you know a person who likes video games, likes The Witcher Old World board game is actually really good. And as always, if you know a person who likes video games but doesn't like board games, you're better off just buying them a video game than buying them a board game. Don't buy board games for your friends. It's lacks class. Get them what they really want. But anyways, if they want board games, Witcher Old World is a really cool one. Hegemony. Hegemony is a social economic game where you play as one of the classes, like society classes. So it's like I forget what it was, like what the specific people you can be. You could be like play as the government, you could play as like the working class or the middle class or something like that. And so like each person plays as a specific class in society. So if you know somebody who likes economics, likes political stuff, this game is for them. It's a really, really big, huge game, but it's really, I've heard it's really, really good, and the scores on BGG will speak for themselves. Another game that bothers me because I went all in on this game, and it's all over the stores. Like I've been to so many different board game stores and just see it sitting on the shelf with all of the expansions, and it's here in my city. And yet my copy of the game has not come in yet, and that is Marvel Zombies, which is, if you know a person who likes zombie games, Zombicide, the people who made Zombicide, Simon, have made a Marvel version, which is super powered zombies. And in this game, you get to play as the zombies and eat people. You could also play as the heroes with the right expansion. I think it's the X-Men Resistance expansion. Will let you play it comes with the stuff needed to play as the heroes instead of the zombie heroes. Unmatched. If you know a person likes Unmatched, these are kind of like expansions, but not really. They're always standalones. But they came out with 2 Marvel expansions, which was Brains and Brawn and King and Country. And I think there was a Black Widow expansion. Or is that the Black Widow's the one that comes with Black Panther? Black Widow, Black Panther? I forget who's in it. But those 2 Marvel expansions came out, which are really good. And super highly rated, especially from the Dice Tower, was Unmatched Adventures, which is a cooperative version of Unmatched. One of those things where it's like, we're going to experiment and see if this works. And it actually did. And I hear it's really, really good. If you know somebody who likes Unmatched and they don't have Unmatched Adventures and you happen to find a copy, get it for them. It's super good. Another game, Nucleum. Nucleum, for me, it looked like the game Power Grid, but a more upgraded version of it. I hear they don't play the same. I hear it's a lot more like Barrage, which I don't know if they like Barrage, but I heard Nucleum is a really good game, and I think there's an expansion coming out for it soon as well. Another really good game that came out, and it's been really hard to find. It's a pretty cheap game, so if you're looking for something a little more affordable, this is a game that can be played with 2 players. I believe it's cooperative, and the whole point is that you're trying to land a plane. It's called Sky Team. Sky Team has was just a game that I think nobody was really anticipating much. There were a couple of channels that were anticipating it, but there was a lot of people who played it and went, wow, this game caught me off guard. I didn't realize how good this game was going to be, and now it's becoming, and it's a small box game, so a lot of people are playing it on planes. And so I don't know how well that it's going to feel that you're crashing a plane while you're on a plane, but Sky Team is a really, really good game. You should check it out. Another great game, Scholars of the South Tigris. Scholars of the South Tigris is another game from the South Tigris series, which there's the West Kingdom series, the South Tigris. I have which one do I have? I have Wayfarers of the South Tigris. Wayfarers of the South Tigris is really, really good, but the new one just came out, and that's called Scholars of the South Tigris. So if you know if somebody's collecting those and likes all those games, definitely a game that you should check out. Another great game that came out, I actually have this, and I've started playing it, is a game called Freelancers. It's from the people who made Forgotten Waters and Dead of Winter. They made a RPG game that's really cute, really fun, great voice acting, and it's done through a website, and this game runs through a website. It's very easy to manage, and it just kind of teaches you how to play. Like this game, you can literally open the box up and just start playing it right then and there. Sagrada Artisans came out, which is a legacy version of Sagrada. So if you know somebody who likes Sagrada, this is a great version of the game for them to get. It has, I don't know if it comes with the color pencils, but I don't know if you have to buy them separately, but you kind of use colored pencils. I think it comes with them, but you get your own like book and you start like coloring in the stained glass things. It's really, really interesting game. Sagrada Artisans is awesome. Another game that's been really, really hyped and has gone up the list, even though it only came out recently, was Apiary. This is from Stonemaier Games, which they make a lot of really good games. Stonemaier Games made Apiary, and Apiary is a game where you're like, it's space bees, and I hear it's a very fun game, and it's got some really cool and interesting mechanics. Another game that came out that was one of those surprise games, The White Castle. I had a chance to buy this, and I didn't. I passed it up because I just looked at the box, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to be interesting. But then I was like, man, I should cover this for the channel because I think this is a new game. I don't think I've ever seen this before. But I ended up passing on it and getting something else, and I regretted it because a lot of people saying it's a really good game. So White Castle, game that everybody's looking for. Another game that came out this year, I'm not exactly how sure, or I don't know how easy this will be to find, but if you do happen to find a copy of it, I hear it's pretty good, and that's Evenfall. Evenfall is a very interesting game. I believe, is it a deck builder? I forget. But I know that the people at Man vs. Meeple have been talking up a storm about this. This was one of their favorite games of the year. It made it really far in their bracket. We've also got another deck builder that I thought was really, really good. I actually have this game, and I think it's fun. If you know somebody who likes Star Wars, the deck builder, it is a dueling deck building game. It's a lot like Star Realms. If you've ever played Star Realms, where you're just dueling each other, it's the Empire versus the Rebellion, and you buy cards from a market row, or you can snipe the enemy's cards out of the market row and attack them, and so that they can't buy them on their next turn. And you just build up a deck and then start taking out their home bases. It's a really, really fun game, and it's pretty quick too. Barcelona, another game that I heard was really good. This is a classic Euro style game, but I've heard that it's just phenomenal with the mechanics and everything that it does. A small box game that I heard is really, really good and very underrated is a game called General Orders World War II. This is an interesting little game that I've seen, and I know that Alex Radcliffe, yes, I said that right, from Board Game Co. I always think Daniel Radcliffe. Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. has said that this is just one of his favorite games from this year that he's purchased. Very small box game, but I hear it's really, really good, and you create your own little World War II on the thing. So if you know somebody likes war games like that, it's a good game to get them, and it's pretty small. Expeditions, big game, expensive, but it is the sequel to Scythe. And so it's a new version of that game, but it doesn't play like Scythe at all. It's a very different game, but it is from the Scythe line, and it's a really cool game. Super hyped. A lot of people love it. Big, grandiose game that you put on the table. Really, really cool. If you want to impress somebody, get them a copy of Expeditions. Don't forget about the game World Wonders. This game came out, and I got a chance to see it at Dice Tower. Didn't get a chance to play it because it was just constantly being played, which tells me something about the game, that there's something there, that it's a very good game. And I've seen it in the stores. I think it's like $50. Also, Earth. I don't really enjoy this game that much. Not sure why. I think maybe it was just overhyped and too many people were hyping it up. And then when I finally played it, I was like, it's okay. But I can't deny that this is a great game and people love it. That's Earth. Earth is just taken the world by storm this year. It has been one of the top games. I think the Dice Tower, it was like almost everybody was giving it 10s and 9.5s. Like, there was not a single person who went under a 9 in their reviews. That is Earth. Jerusalem came out, so if you know somebody who is, goes to church and they're Christian, or maybe somebody who's just faith-based, there's literally a game called Jerusalem, which takes place in Jerusalem, and the idea is that you're like the disciples or the followers of Jesus, and Jesus is going to the Last Supper, and you are trying to get your group of people as close to Jesus as possible, and his disciples sit alongside him, and if you get them close to the disciples, you get like bonuses and stuff like that. Pretty cool game if you're a Christian and you like it. I hear that it's very, very a good game, and a lot of good work went into making it, so it's not too like out there or weird. You also have Age of Comics. I got a chance to actually play this yesterday, and Age of Comics was super good, man. Like, I really enjoyed this game. You're basically producing comic books, and there's like different genres that you can produce with the cards, and I love that card system where it's like you need to get a writer, an artist, and then produce your own original comics. But if you don't have a comic book to actually make, you can just make a knockoff off of somebody else's comics, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I was like, that's such a cool mechanic where I can make a knockoff, and they even have like little knockoff versions where it's like the Old West. There's like a comic that says like Old West, and then the knockoff version is like Ancient West or something like that, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. There's some really cool mechanics in that game. Age of Comics, really cool game. You can get it for like $50. Great game. Another great game that caught me by surprise, I actually got to play it, was Rolling Heights. I actually really like this game. You just take a whole bunch of meeples and you roll them into your little box that you have, and then all the meeples who are standing upright, they will be workers, but if they fall on their backs, they're duds and they're not going to work. And so you just keep rolling meeples, and rolling meeples is somehow more satisfying than rolling dice, like by a long shot. It's so cool to like throw a handful of meeples and half your meeples aren't working, and then some of them are standing up, and you're like, oh, these are the ones I can use. I can re-roll these. Let me re-roll these. Boom. Okay, these guys are standing up, and then it's like if they fall on their side, they work normally, but if they're standing upright, they work double extra hard, and so they do like double the work. So it's such a cool game, man. And then you build up these little cities of cubes. This map, by the end of the game, with like 3 or 4 people playing, has like these huge towers of like cubes. It was so cool. I had such a great experience with it, and I love the game, and so I bought myself a copy. Another great game that came out, Beast, is a secret movement, hidden movement game. Really cool game. Expansion's coming out soon, I think like next year. Definitely a game you should check out. This one was an interesting game. I don't know much about it, but I just know that a lot of people are hyping it up, and that was Disney Animated. I just hear a lot of people saying really good things about it, and you know, a person that likes Disney games, Disney Animated might be the game that they're looking for. Another game, Octopus. Cool little engine builder with a little inky goodness, the little god. It's like an octopus god that moves around the map. It's a pretty interesting game. Definitely, if you like engine builders, a good game you could get. Holotype. I did a review for the expansion that's coming out, I believe, next year, and Holotype is great. The expansion adds a lot to it, but Holotype, just base game, is very, very good. It's, you know, somebody that likes dinosaurs or archaeology, like digging up fossils, that's a really cool game that you can get them. It's a Euro game. It's pretty simple, and once you get used to the mechanics, it's very easy. If you know somebody who likes Point Salad, Point City came out, which is just a little bit of a more complicated version of Point Salad, but it's super good. I like Point City a lot more than I like Point Salad. So if you know somebody who likes lighter games, that's a great game to get them. Another game that came out this year, it's called Books of Time. Didn't have the best experience with it, but I know a lot of people liked it. This is more so like one of those like last bottom of the list kind of things. I hear good things about it. I've also heard that there's some wonky things, but for the most part, I think it's been pretty positive, the people who enjoyed it. But Books of Time is a pretty interesting game where you have these little binders, and you open up the binders and add pages to your book, and then you can continue to turn through your book, and then when you use certain pages, you get abilities, and then you add new pages to your book and then get combos and things like that. It's pretty interesting. If you know somebody who likes Ethnos, we have Archos Society, which is just a newer version of that. It's a little different than the Ethnos version. Ethnos, I think, is a little bit better in my opinion because you can go around the map. But I know Ethnos is kind of hard to find right now. It's like out of print. But Archos Society is pretty good. Instead of a map, there's like tracks that you go down, and you can go down different tracks and stuff like that and gain more points and stuff. Archos Society is pretty interesting. And then last but not least, the Fox Experiment, another game that was hyped up by Elizabeth Hargrave. Is that her name? I think it's the lady who did Wingspan, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But the Fox Experiment was a really interesting game from Pandasaurus that came out. I believe it's Pandasaurus. And it's finally out to purchase. And you basically are breeding like different types of foxes. And it was a pretty interesting, I think thematically it's an interesting theme. Because, you know, people keep making space games and pirate games and stuff. But then it's like, hey, breeding foxes. Very interesting theme, very out there, very different. And Fox Experiment is a pretty cool game, and I've heard a lot of great things about it from reviewers. That is the entire list, man. That took me, how long did this take? Maybe like 20 minutes or so. But those are all the games that came out this year that I think your special person will like. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and please, if you want to buy me a present, become a member, man. Become a member. I need more members. Remember, I want this channel to be fully funded by the subscribers and not by companies. I've been having companies reach out to me more and more, offering me their games to review, and I tell them the same thing every time. Hey, I will review your game, and this goes out for all of you game companies. I will review your games for free. I don't know if this is affecting our industry or whatnot. I highly doubt that because, like I said, I don't have that great of a following. But I do have about 10,000, 11,000 subscribers, and if you're looking for somebody to promote your games for free, I will do that. And that's because my philosophy is that I want to be funded by the people. I want people to trust, have a channel that they can trust, where they don't feel like, oh, they're paid to say this game is good. So I've had game companies reach out to me, and I tell them all the time, hey, I will do this for free, but I've just asked that I can give my honest feedback. That's it. I just want to give my honest feedback, and I will usually only review games that I like. And so will that change in the future? Will my opinion about that change? And eventually when I'm like, hey, in order to fund this channel, I'm going to need money. Possibly, I don't know. I feel like this is good. I've met a couple of people that I've talked to, and I've seen people in the channel in the comment section who have told me that they really appreciate that. And so that's the reason why I haven't changed my opinion about it. Money talks though, man, and it's tough. So that's why I'm saying become a member. If we can prove that this channel can be funded by the members and not by the companies who pay me to say their games are great, please fund the channel, man. Support this channel. Throw your money at it, and let's see this thing soar into a great place, man. And all the money that I do receive, I use it to just better the channel or to put it back to you guys. We're doing a giveaway for Ready Set Bet. Go to Stocking Stuffers, the video I did on Stocking Stuffers. Subscribe to the channel, and you can go in the list and you can see it. And I did a Stocking Stuffers list. On there, there's a giveaway. It tells you the instructions of what you need to do to enter. It's only for the United States, so make sure you remember that. And then yeah, so maybe you'll win a copy of Ready Set Bet. That came out of my pocket that I'm giving to you guys. I'm also paying all of the shipping, so don't believe anybody who says, hey, you won and this is how you claim your prize, give us $15. That's a scam. But yeah, that's it for this. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys so much. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa. I don't know what else happens in Christmas time, but all of those different holidays that you guys may be celebrating wherever you may be. And if you don't celebrate any of those things and you just like to have Santa Claus bring presents under the tree, then happy Santa Day. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. The only Christmas list let's try that again.